Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Faab Five Campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table tonight are Alyssa, Joe, Jeremy, Koines, and Kyle. Say hi, everyone.
Hi!
Welcome back.
Now, now we're actually back. It's been a few weeks. Now, before we begin, we do have a few announcements to get through, starting with the first of our two sponsors for tonight's show, Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tools let you build your perfect miniature online using a fully 3D in-depth character creator tool right in your web browser, which is where we built our tokens for this evening's game. You can build yours today at heroforge.com. Our second sponsor for tonight's show is XSplit. XSplit is a high-quality virtual webcam background remover that works with your already existing webcam. Using this program, you can protect your privacy while you work or play remotely. You can blur, remove the background entirely, or even put your favorite picture as the background instead, which is actually what most of us do. You can download the app today at xsplit.com, and if you use the coupon code RANDOM, capital R, you can get 10% off of your purchase. You can find your referral link in the chat and show description. And that's it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Faab Five. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Faab Five had responded to a call for aid by the Erudite Conclave in Revancia, which was under the attack of the Cult of the Dreamer. This led the team down to the lower levels of the Conclave, where they came face to face with a horde of cultists who seemed to be blockading the route down to the lower archive storage area. Now, knowing full well that the cult was after the dream root stored in that location, the squad hurried below after Eloise was turned invisible to position herself in an advantageous way before the fight began. A fierce and dangerous battle was waged between our heroes and the cult, which seemed to be taking their orders from an archwizard in red. While many of the dreamers did fall, just as many soon came to take their place, and they seem to be focused primarily on keeping your group out before they could complete their thing. The cult also summoned a powerful demon called a Nabasu that seemed to radiate darkness as it feasted upon Apollyon's soul through its terrifying gaze. Fortunately for the Minotaur, Master Ohm was there to counter this magical darkness with a bit of magical light of his own. And the ancient monk launched himself into a furious assault to assist the draconic barbarian, while also illuminating the demon who was harrying them. And so, Faab Five, in the end, you were all able to defeat both the demon and most of the cultists, though several did get away via teleportation circle. You all then followed Master Ohm down to determine that yes, the Cult of the Dreamer did indeed steal the Dream Root out of the secure vault of the archives, as well as an object called a Dream Seed, and multiple other artifacts as well. With the danger now past, you all return to the upper levels of the Conclave to assist with the cleanup process of searching for survivors and going through the wreckage of the battle. Eventually, you are all able to get a long rest. And the next day, you were all sought out once again by Tomas Rothen, who had also arrived last night to help in the battle against the cult. He informed you all that the Conclave's leaders were gathering a war council to address the ongoing threat that is the Cult of the Dreamer. You still did have an hour or so before the council was set to begin, and both Blood and Apollyon had aims for interrogating the cultists that Ohm had captured. But before we get into all that, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what is currently motivating you to stay with the party? And, Eloise, since you're the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Well, I mean, I don't want to leave my friends, and we seem to be wrapped up in some pretty big stuff. And, well, I don't like that they keep messing with us.
Scowly face. Like it. Liam, how about you?
Well, first of all, it seems that no one in my party is very killable at all, so their avoidance from death is a nice quality to have in a teammate, and also, kind of seems there's like she said, there's a lot of important shit going down right now, and even the elves are asking for our help, so our group must be important.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Necthros Veil, how about you?
Well, they're kind of all I have right now, considering the whole turning my back on my god and realizing that I've got no one else, and this has been my true friendship all along. I'm not going anywhere.
I like it. Apollyon, how about you?
Well, I'm staying with the Faab Five because I'm one of the original founders, obviously. And then also, it's because we get to fight the best baddies out there. The Conclave is always just sending us in. Oh, we don't know nothing about this. We don't know nothing about that. You guys just take them out. And Apollyon lays the smackdown on all their candy asses each and every time. Great for my ego.
I'm gonna say, we wouldn't be Five or Fab without Apollyon.
That's true. That is true.
You know it.
I like it. Blood from a Stone, how about you?
I mean, primarily right now, it's dealing with the cult. As soon as they're done, I'm heading back to Illumythica to be with my brother. So if it wasn't for the cult, I probably wouldn't be sticking around. Not to say I don't like these people, and it's not it. But blood is much thicker than water. So I would be with my brother right now if I could. But
And your name is Blood and his name is water related.
I didn't think about that. Thank you very much. I honestly hadn't thought about that until you fucking said something.
Blood and water, baby.
See, I would. My place is with him now that I know he's alive, and so that's where I'll go when this is done.
Okay. I like it. Okay, well, Fab Five. So during the time that you were waiting to head down to the War Council, those of you who wish to be present were able to pose some questions to those captured cultists that Ohm had incapacitated. When you had all regrouped with the Conclave, Blood made sure to relay the information about the cultists' false tooth that they had previously used to suicide when captured. And so, with a combination of magic, namely, a zone of truth, coercion, and physical violence, you all were able to get some information out from the prisoners. Now, there were a few questions that you all sent to me that I made sure to write down. The first question, this is in no real discernible order, but one of the questions you wanted to know is, how did they know that the roots were at this location? The information that you're able to gather is that the cult knows that your group had actually gotten the root from Feyweave Hollow and had tracked them to the Conclave, tracked your group towards the Conclave. You'll remember that way back when in your earliest adventures. Believers inside the Conclave were able to discover its location, and it was mere child's play to figure out where exactly it was going to be. Outpost Alpha is the largest repository of items that the Conclave studies, so fairly easy to guess where the roots would be. You had wanted to know whether or not the cult has people on the inside that told them, and yes, the Cult of the Dreamer has many. The followers of the Dreamer are legion, as you all know, and their presence is pretty much everywhere. You're able to get quite a few names of members out of the cultists, but through checks and once you get these names, of course, the Conclave is very, very quick to go track them down. But the names that you were able to gather had either committed suicide or disappeared during that attack. Now, you wanted to know where Golden Tongue is. Information that you're able to gather through questioning leads you to discover that Golden Tongue actually led the infiltration into the Conclave, and he was one of the ones to recover the Dream Root. The cultists that you have in custody assume he's already back with the army and preparing their ritual. You ask the question, where can you find Abir? And the mocking answer that you're given in return is leading the ritual, of course. You had asked if there is a secret staging area for the cult leaders. It takes a little bit of time to get this information out, but what you're able to gather is that the leadership of the Cult of the Dreamer is spread throughout the group, operating in a cell system that advances upwards, so that with the loss of one leader, another can fill its place. Abir does have an inner circle that she works with, and the cultists that you speak with very much laughingly says, of course, they're all going to be together for this ritual. This is the thing. This is what they've been trying to achieve for their entire history of believers. Apollyon, you wanted to know specifically who the military leader and the strongest champion is of the Cult of the Dreamer now that Grovagar is dead.
Yep.
The current general, the current general of the Dreamer army is an Arakora named Aku Sede. He was Grovagar Umbridger's protege and second in command. It takes you a little bit of roughing them up to get them to answer this question, but you're able to discern that he has the magical ability to create echoes of himself that can spread out from him and fight on the battlefield as well. He is very well known to being a extremely powerful fighter. Somebody without peer in the army.
But he's definitely a martial person and not a spellcaster.
Yeah, he's definitely a martial type. The magic that he does have magic. He does have magical abilities, but they're more in line with martial fighting.
Okay. What type of weapon does he use?
He uses a battle axe. He also is an expert in hand-to-hand combat, and with his ability to fly as he does, he uses his talons quite a bit as well.
Okay. I look forward to meeting this guy. What's his name again?
Aku, Aquuu, is his first name, and Sede, Sede.
Dead, I think is his first name, right, Polly? Dead Bird?
Yeah, gonna be. What, you said AC what?
Aquuu.
Yep. Yeah. Aku Sede.
And spell the last name again. S-E... what?
VE.
S-E-V-E? Save it?
S-E-D-E. D is in
Oh,
dog.
okay. Akusede. Okay, cool.
Yeah. You're familiar enough with Aracora. They're eagle type people. They can fly, all that stuff. Okay. Now, those are the questions that you all sent me. Knowing this information now, if you have any other questions, you're welcome to ask.
What about Mitchell?
So, were you present for like the actual interrogations and all that? No. Okay. So
No.
you go
Ella
and
froze his ass.
yeah. So waiting outside, eventually you see Blood and Apollyon and anyone else who is involved walking out. And of course, the first thing you're going to ask your friends is, "What's up with Mitchell?" Blood, you got an answer for that?
Miss Eloise, do you want to sit down for a minute?
No, I want to know about Mitchell.
Well, they didn't know his name by heart, but I asked them if there was a flamboyant wizard amongst them. And one of them did mention that somebody kept spying on him, and so the mistress dealt with him. But she didn't quite say why or what happened. But he's been dealt with because somebody kept spying on him and they wouldn't stop.
Well, I did stop.
I know. But he said he was dealt with. That's all I can say. I don't know what that means.
'Cause the last we heard, he had been finding a way. He was
Well,
yes, being helpful and doing the
the
things he was
ritual
told,
thing,
but he was
yeah.
also helping.
But he might have done that before we had found him again and found out where he was.
No, because he hadn't had the gas
No, he probably had the gas
cast on him until after I started spying on
he
him.
was working with him. I remember you described it. He had the tablet and he was saying this is being loaded. He might have had done what they needed him to do. All I'm saying is he said he has been dealt with, and he didn't say it in a very he's been dealt with. He got a promotion. He just said he's been dealt with. That's all I know. Not saying he's dead because you were spying on him. I'm just saying he's been dealt with. I'm fucking with you, Eloise. He didn't know who you were talking about. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, and you're full of shit.
Oh, it's unfortunate you don't have any hair for me to shave, so I just found a different way to fuck with you. But he might be dead at this point. I don't know.
Wow.
If I know it's horrible, I'm a terrible person. If they found out, if the bunny could find out that he was putting stuff into their spells, she's pretty smart too. She might figure it out too. So he's definitely not safe if he is in fact messing with their ritual. So we would need to find him, and hopefully quickly. Oh, you're fine.
I'm gonna sit down and try and scry on him.
Okay, you're gonna sit down and cast the scrying spell. Okay. You sit down, pull out your crystal bowl right there on the floor of the conclave outside of the jail cells that they had converted to use, because they don't actually have a jail cell. It's a library. But you sit down and begin casting the spell. As you look down on it into your bowl, it is black. You are unable to see anything. The spell dissipates, unable to locate him.
That one's not on me. I have no idea what that means. That's not on me. Well, they got those little thingies that we couldn't scry on her, so maybe she did it to him.
Go ahead, Eloise, and make a history check.
Yes, okay, normal roll. History. 19.
19. With a 19, you can remember the last time you were able to successfully scry on Mitchell. He immediately reported it to his mistress, and then she made some snide comments and then put something onto his neck. And the moment that was put on him, the spell was dissipated, and you couldn't scry on him anymore. And you haven't been able to do so since.
But is this the same reaction as
previously?
As yes. Every other times? Okay.
I'm sure he's fine though.
So it doesn't mean that he's necessary. It didn't feel like the spell didn't connect. It felt like the spell was blocked, not that it couldn't, not that it was unable to how am I trying to say this?
Magic stopped it.
Yeah, blocked is a good
blocked.
Way to describe it.
It felt blocked and not just oh, this person doesn't exist anymore kind of thing. Okay. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's still alive.
Well, let me ask you this, and now this is really actually just an honest question, not me fucking with you anymore. What if he were no longer with us? Would the same thing happen? Would the spell not connect because he is not there for it to connect to? This is an honest, magical question. He's going to look at Veil. I'm looking for answers here.
Eloise, you and Veil can both go ahead and make Arcana checks.
It's I feel responsible
26.
for him. I feel responsible for him as well. So I want to find him. I'm just asking that as an honest question.
So Eloise, with your 14, you're kind of not sure, but what Blood was saying, could it work? Not sure.
I've never tried to scry on a dead person before.
Veil, however, with your 26, you know for a fact that it doesn't quite work that way. If somebody's dead and you tried to scry on it, you could scry on their body, but that's really about it. But if other than that, so yes, if you try to scry on somebody dead, you'd probably see their their corpse, or at least the ground where they're buried. But that's about it. But she's being blocked. It's a repulsion, so completely different.
Okay. Are we still in the conclave?
Yeah, you are.
All right. When we're done here, I'd like to do some shopping.
Well, you do have a war council that's basically going to be starting as soon as you're all done. Talking to the prisoners.
All right. To the war room. Unless you guys have other things to say.
Does anybody have any other questions they want to get answered before you make your way to the war council?
Are we going to let them live?
No.
Did we ask them where their base of command is?
I think we know where that mountain is, right? Yeah. Because the bunny on the other crew, the Koines, I think, didn't they find out where the ritual's being done?
Yeah, they did find out that the ritual is being done at the Umbra Spire, and the Conclave has told you that that the army has been seen in that area too. Okay, so with your questions all answered, the Conclave members take charge of asking the rest of the questions they want to know, and you all head to the War Council, which is...
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I wasn't there when the red wizard. Did they get killed?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Was there any spellbook recovery?
If you're asking the Conclave themselves, yes, they did recover some interesting items that the cultists had dropped. They're currently being studied.
Collected as evidence. Got it.
Yeah.
To the war room.
So, you make your way down to where the War Council is being held, which is actually in the lower level of the training room, where you had all fought the cult not long ago, literally 24 hours ago. As you make your way down the stairs, the first thing that happens is you're stopped by a group of monks and required to pass through this crystalline arch structure. You're forced to pause there, and each of you are questioned about your affiliation with the Cult of the Dreamer. You realize as you step through this that you're in another zone of truth, and they're being really, really careful about who they let into this council. But we all know that none of you are actually Cult of the Dreamer cultists, and you can pass the questioning without issue. As you make your way past and into the training room itself, you see a massive gathering has already come together. You begin recognizing people you've seen several times before throughout your travels here between Morag and the Kingdom of Hyrulean and back again and into the Federation. Of course, you immediately see Master Ohm. He's currently talking with a few individuals. One, a bronze-scaled dragonborn that you don't recognize, but you also do see somebody you do recognize. Taurus Blood Anvil, the chief archivist of the Conclave in the city of Morag. You also recognize Melmond Fumner, the research liaison who your group worked with while you guys were all staying in Morag. You recognize Sashanel Borentol, the human man who is the chief archivist over at the Conclave Outpost in Port Valena. Eloise, you've never been a fan of his, but you do recognize him there as well, speaking with Master Ohm. And your research liaison from Port Valena, Hencook Fribbs, is there as well. The non-binary gnome that is very tall for a gnome. You see quite a few other people in attendance as well. There's a tabaxi in plate armor and a cloak that that you don't quite know, standing next to a very short, very pale halfling and a dwarf. You see another dwarf coming in from the other side of the room. This one in full armor and regalia, have a big long black beard that's braided about, with standing there with a crown on his head. This is Emperor Darwin himself, with an entourage of 6 very grim-faced dwarves, including somebody else you recognize. Orsk Ungart, the sheriff of Morag.
Hey, Liam, there's your buddy.
Imagine that.
Oh boy.
You see Tomas standing there speaking to a tall tiefling man you recognize as Belmond Richtal. He's up and about again and seems to be at least in somewhat decent health. You also recognize Morlock Tornball, the human wizard, and Captain Stoneleaf, the dwarf from Weston. The 2 of them are in attendance. Also, the last pair that you see in the crowd that you recognize is Glorisag and Elias Castbringer, the pair of dwarves who are from the hidden research outpost in the Federation that you all met while you were traveling through the desert. So it's kind of a who's who of important figures from all around Loroupa. People are in conversation, talking and chatting. It's quite crowded, but there are plenty of benches to sit down at. Does anybody try to approach or talk to anybody, or are you just going to wait until the meeting begins?
Does a dragonborn have a tail?
The dragonborn does not have a tail. But coming in from another corner, you see a group that, Eloise, well, the first thing would catch your attention is the way they dress. They're very clearly druids. And there's a few of them there. 6 in total. Led by a very, very ancient-looking gold-scaled dragonborn. And he does have a tail.
Is this, like, is that the leader of the Feywalker's Glen? The Hyrulean Druid Grove?
It is.
Okay, I don't know if I've met him. I know I've been to that grove before. I don't know if I've met him. Is the teacher they have at the Feywalker's Glen who specializes in like the more elemental side of natural magics, is he there?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Or sorry, I guess I should say, are they there? 15.
It's not working. high or low?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. High?
With your 15 perception, yes, you do indeed see this individual. They're kind of in the back of the crowd of druids, seemingly carrying a very large stack of scrolls and things like that.
I'm gonna run over to them and like hug them like from behind through the scrolls.
Tell us a little bit about this individual.
Oh God, I have to make up someone on the spot. Okay.
Try to make me do it.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to think. I'm like, why would my father have brought me to the grove when he very specifically wants to live outside of a grove? And I'm like, maybe because I needed to learn better control over the elemental magic that I have more natural connection to because of the Dragonborn shit. And now I need to think of someone. Okay. Oh God. Okay, so this individual is human, and they are middle-aged, and even though they're carrying all these scrolls, they actually have some really nice like tattoos that are very reminiscent of like different aspects of elements. So there's like almost some that kind of look like flames, some that look, but they could also maybe be like waves in water, or they could be like, you know, the swirls that people imagine would be like the wind breeze. Like, you're not really sure what element it's supposed to be representing, but somehow also represents all of them simultaneously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh no, do I have to make up a name too, Matt?
Nope, we're gonna call him Freese.
Freeze, okay. And yeah, so I just run up to them, kind of like from behind, so that way I'm not going to knock the scrolls out of their hands, arms, hopefully, and I just hug them, and I'm like, Master Freeze!
Yeah, grabbing them around, like all the scrolls just go tumbling down out of their arms, and like they kind of freeze up at first, and then they like turn around and look at you, and oh my, Eloise? Eloise, is that you? Eloise Brightcrystal? Oh my gosh! I haven't seen you since you were this tall. I can't believe... What are you doing here?
Liam's already on the ground picking scrolls up, like, knew something was gonna go wrong.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Well, okay, so long story, I'm going to try and make it really, really short. So Athera thought that I needed to go out into the world to learn more about the world, and so I went out and I wandered a lot, and then I ran into a bunch of, and been to these people, and they're super great, and they're my friends now, and then we've been on some adventures, and then Mitchell got kidnapped, and then got to put a spell under, and then oh my God, and then Feyweave Hollow happened, and that was so upsetting, and then we keep running into these cult people, and a lot of bad things keep happening.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it sounds like you've been having some incredible and disturbing adventures. We've heard about Feyweave Hollow, of course. It's such a tragedy. Tragedy. I started to say travesty and tragedy is the same. Such a tragedy. It's horrible. So you were there. You saw everything. You saw what the green dragon did.
We killed it.
You killed it too. Oh, I had heard that some members of the conclave had done so, but I didn't. I would have never guessed that you're a member of the Conclave too.
I'm not.
Oh. Oh. Well,
No, we went on the first adventure. We went to Fayleaf Hollow for them, but we weren't like members yet. And then we came back, and then the rest of the party became members. But the man who sent us, gave us this job, well, his priorities weren't very good, and I didn't trust that, so I didn't become a member.
Oh, I see. That's
And I take out the piece of it's a blackened piece of the big stone that had been broken and shattered, the one with like the carving of the tree and all of that, and I take out the piece of the stone and show them.
They kind of place their hand over it and say, I remember seeing that stone many years ago when I was young. It's so sad to see it looking like that.
That and the apiary is gone. Everything's gone.
You hear a cut from behind you, and as you glance back, you see the gold-scaled dragonborn standing there as well. He is kind of stooped and slumped shoulders. His robes kind of hang loosely on him. He's got a little bit of that Fu Manchu whiskers kind of drooping down over the sides of his face, and his eyes are almost pure milk white. You can tell this is an extremely ancient dragonborn, and yeah, he does have a tail. The moment you look that way, Freeze does as well, and they say, "Oh, Master, yes, allow me to introduce to you. This is Eloise Brightcrystal, daughter of Vulcan. She was just telling me a little bit about what she saw in Fayweave Hollow." He then Freeze says, "Please allow me to introduce Master Bashlor Grigg, the Archdruid of sorry, I blanked for a second, of Feywalker's Glen."
Mm-hmm.
And he smiles at you and he says, I remember you as well. You came many, many, many years ago, and quite the precocious little scamp you were. Is your father about? I would love to speak with him as well.
He's out looking for a member of his Goliath tribe, Grood. We came across him, and Athair was very worried about him and is hoping that he can help him off the path that he's on right now.
That sounds like a noble goal. He would have been an welcome ally here for this as well. Please, when you see him again, give him my best. He was a good man, a good friend. As he's getting ready to walk away, he stops and looks back at you, and then at the staff that you have in your hand. And he looks at it really closely. May I ask where you got this?
In Fayleaf Hollow, when we killed the dragon. You know Desi?
Does he? He walks up to it and he reaches a hand out very gently, like he wants to touch it, but he's also looking to you for permission.
Oh yeah, I hold it out for him.
He reaches and puts his hand around it. He doesn't pull it away from you, but his hand closes around it. This staff was created by Hakoden Amberleaf. He looks at you. He was a very good friend of mine. Archdruid of Feyweave Hollow.
There wasn't anybody. We tried to lay them to rest together, but nobody. There wasn't anybody. That was...
No. The Conclave reached out to the Circle of Druids and requested we look into what happened at Feyweave Hollow. I've read up on your group's exploits, and I cannot say anything beyond how absolutely saddened I am by what happened. Upon request of Master Borantol of the Conclave, we dispatched several druids to reclaim and begin purifying Feyweave Hollow. It'll be a long and arduous process and take many, many years. But believe me when I say that the Grove will thrive once again.
I'm gonna offer him the stone.
He releases the staff, and he picks up the stone, kind of brushes it a little bit, trying to get some of that scorch mark off of it. He says to you, I'm happy to see Amberleaf's staff is held by someone of the Order. The idea of it being in the hands of a dragon, and he kind of just shakes, and his whole body kind of does a little bit of a shiver. He passes you back the stone as well, and says, keep that with you, to remember your time there. But I must ask, have you ever communed with your staff?
Oh, when they were a tree.
Spend some more time with it. It was crafted by an archdruid, after all. It seems happy, but it is yet to reach its full potential in your hands.
Okay.
Give my regards to your father. Frizzy, we must find our places. And he nods to you once again, and Freese smiles at you and gives you another hug. Takes the scrolls back from Liam and begins following. You notice that that the druids kind of all gather up together and sit down. There are 5 of them in total, 5 different archdruids, and a small entourage with them as well, and they take up kind of a middle place among the seats. You can all see at this point that most of the people in attendance are beginning to find their places among the benches, and you can also see Master Ohm starting to walk towards the center of that sand pit. Probably a good time to find your seats as well. once your group sits down, and everyone does the same, Master Ohm, in the center of the sand pit, holds his arms up and calls out, quiet down, everybody, quiet down. By now, everyone has had a chance to review the dossier of the Conclave that the Conclave has gathered on this cult of the Dreamer. We are taking this attack on the branch here as evidence that the cult is now preparing to attempt to do the ritual they've devised in order to open a portal to the Dream Realm and release this being that they worship, this Dreamer. Now, we've received word that word from Edgelina. Why? It's hard to say in that fucking accent. Edgelina Marley, the chief archivist of the Delta branch of the Conclave in Berlina, that there was an attack on the Crypt of the Kaisers, an ancient tomb of kings in Gulfrin. At the same time, a strategic attack throughout the city was unleashed. We believe that these attacks were used to distract from their true objective, which is the crypt. The Conclave was in negotiations with Kaiser Frederick Wittnauer III to allow a team of field researchers into the crypt, which is where we believed another dream root was located. Unfortunately for us, the Dreamers decided to take a much more direct route to claim it. Now, we have evidence that the cult is in possession of 5 dream roots, as well as at least 2 dream seeds. Based on this information, which has been gathered by senior field researcher Tomas Rothen, we believe that this is all the cult needs to attempt their arcane ritual. He then turns to another Dragonborn, the copper-scaled Dragonborn you had seen him conversing with when you first walked in. He says, Master Seth, can you please give us your report next? Ohm steps aside, and Chief Archivist Seth Ricard steps up and into the center of the sand pit as well. We now have confirmation that the Cult of the Dreamer has been kidnapping well-placed individuals and corrupting their minds, allowing them access to both governmental and private organizations. We've discovered that members of the Conclave have had this done to them as well, which is how we now know they gained access to the storage facilities underneath this archive. We've been able to compile a list of names thanks to interrogation and investigation into the Conclave members who have suicided or fled during the attack. With the attacks on this branch of the Conclave and the one on the Crypt of Berlina, we now know that the cult possesses the dream roots found in Feyweave Hollow, Weston, the Crypt of the Kaisers, and the Vault of Rowena. We also believe that they have recovered the one from the shipwreck of the Grey Squall. Now, when he says that, your group, that name actually rings a bell. Go ahead and make a history check, everybody.
I remember that being one of the
I
jobs
think that was
we were
an
offered.
option for one of our missions, yeah.
Okay, then you don't need a history check. Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
It was one of the missions that you had to choose from. You chose to go on a different one instead.
I'm member. You member?
I'm member. Member Chewbacca? Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. The Conclave expedition that was sent to recover the Grey Squall, unfortunately, is still considered missing in action, and we do believe them to be dead. Unfortunately, we have also received confirmed reports from every kingdom and sovereign body on Loroupa. That people from nearly every social group and demographic in just about every city on the continent have disappeared from their homes. And even more seem to be migrating on foot and heading towards the Margarden Federation. This includes nobles and even city guards. What constabulary remains are working to keep order as best they can, from all indications. But what's happened over the last 24 hours has caused chaos across the entire realm. We have more information about the cult's activities and what they're up to, which has recently been uncovered by senior field researcher Tomas Rothen. Mr. Rothen, can you please give us your report? The Dragonborn then steps aside, and you see your old friend, Tomas, stepping up from his chair and moving into the center of the pit as well. He is a small halfling man, as you can see, a little more weary looking around the eyes. Whatever he's been doing has definitely left some dark circles on behind his eyes, and his that big old bulbous nose of his seems to have gotten at least one more scar since the last time you've seen him. He says, "Thank you, everybody. Thank you. My name is Tomas Rothen, and I am a senior field researcher. I was the one who first discovered the Cult of the Dreamer that was in Ranivika. I went to Ranivika, and I was able to track the cult from there through the Church of the Five, and all the way to the head of the church, head priestess Ivek Abir."
Boo!
As you, like, everyone just turns and looks at you. Like, this is a solemn meeting, and everyone's just like, what the fuck? And then Ohm, standing to the side of the pit, he goes, "Yeah, that's right. Boo."
You were all thinking the same thing.
Tomas chuckles. Now, you've all been able to read the port on Ivek Abir, I'm sure. But after Abir and her inner circle left Revancia on the back of a pair of blue dragons, I decided to sneak into her villa and have a look around. There I found an underground arcane workshop. And after a very thorough search, I found documents hidden underneath a table. Documents containing parts of a blueprint and arcane computations which, well, I'll admit, was just far too advanced for me to work out on my own. But
See, Mitchell's not a bad guy!
Everyone just stops and looks at you again.
Yeah, I stand up when I say that, and then I turn and I point at Blood.
Blood just kind of seems to be like,
Can't hear you,
Can't
Pete.
hear you, Joe.
Said he can't be good if he's dead. Oh no.
Can you say that out loud?
Fuck yeah, I'll say that out loud. Are you kidding me? He got no shame. He's like, alright, Eloise, go on with the meeting, sir.
Tomas just is shaking his head.
He fucking knows. He doesn't have to.
Oh, yeah, he knows. That's why he's shaking his head. He's just like, these fucking guys. Now, we've been able to determine that the invention of this device has been a joint collaboration between a chronergy wizard from the Institute Arcanum known as Jadar Brightscale and an enchanter from Port Valena known as Robert Mitchell. Yes, that's the Mitchell Miss Brightcrystal keeps screaming about.
He's dead, Honor.
From what I've been able to understand, our arcane researchers here at the Conclave, which has been assisted by Mr. Korin Hassan of the adventuring team out of Contrast, have some disturbing findings. And you do see Korin the elf stand up and kind of take a nod at Tomas before sitting back down. Mr. Hassan is well familiar with the work of Master Brightscale, and he's been able to determine that some very, very disturbing things. After delivering this message, or this information to the Conclave, I decided to investigate more into Abir's past, to see if I could determine where they plan to do this ritual. Since Abir took her vows at the convent to Jorun in Ranivika, I decided to infiltrate both the convent and the temple using a team of adventurers. Inside the convent, I discovered correspondence between the Reverend Mother Dominica and High Priestess Abir, and was able to determine that after leaving Rowena, Abir traveled to the Umbra Spire in the Juntla Wastes. We also discovered what appeared to be a breeding laboratory to create beholderkin underneath the convent of Jorun. And the moment he says this, a lot of people in the crowd jump up and begin asking a lot of questions. People are demanding to know, what do you mean a beholderkin breeding lab? How are they doing this? How is the cult able to breed the beholders? What are they using that as part of their army, and so on and so forth? And it takes a while to get them to quiet down. Master Ohm actually stands up and smashes his hands together in a loud clap and has to yell and bellow for everyone to quiet down and sit down. Now, once they do, Tomas says, unfortunately, we weren't able to determine how or why the cult was breeding these beholderkin. By the time we got down there, we uncovered a creature made of mist and projecting images into our minds, very similar to what happened underneath the island of the Dream Witness. If you read my report, you'll be able to get a full description of it. But they informed us that the city of Contrast was under attack once again by the Cult of the Dreamer, and my group and I determined that the best use of our time would be to get this information to the Conclave and stop the cult's activities in Contrast. So unfortunately, we were not able to get more information out of Revancia than that. I did make a request of a friend of the Conclave, Master Ulysse Truss, to look into the monastery. Master Truss, can you let everyone know what you found? And you see a human man stand up wearing very, very fine and lavish purple robes. He has long black hair, a big black goatee. He basically looks like a James Bond or Doctor Who villain. But he stands up and he says, thank you. Yes, unfortunately, it is my sad duty to inform this war council that when I went to the Temple of Jorun, I found that all the monks and clerics had been murdered. The nuns of the monastery have disappeared. When I went down with a group of guards, everything underneath the temple, or the convent, had been removed. I found no signs of creatures other than a handful of creatures that had been slain. But the nuns themselves are nowhere to be found. Also disappeared from the city was council members Shagan Van S., the leader of the trade association, Shava Wisdom, the leader of the hospitality guild, Lord Baron Truanvil, Trinuxius Reganthar, and Shava Osav, the sheriff, as well as half of her guards of Ranivika. So, the city itself is, I can safely tell you all, in complete chaos. Ranivika is led by a council of both high-ranking noblemen and members of different associations, and with half of them gone, our city is lacking much leadership. I will be returning to Ranivika after this council meeting. Now, once he sits down, Master Ohm stands up and goes to walk over and stand next to Tomas Rothen. He says, well, first before he says anything, he looks around, and you can see him look to certain individuals. The Dwarven Empire, the Dwarven Emperor, the representatives of Hyrulean and Radagast, and then the group of Archdruids. He says, given this the gravity of the situation, the Conclave leadership has voted to invoke the Erudite Accords and request aid from the signatory nations that govern the world to address this threat. Unfortunately, we do not have those people from the Kingdom of Gulfrin. The country is too far in chaos to answer this call. But with the rest of you, we must demand that all of the signatory nations and groves come together to address this threat. We realize that this is a complicated request, but time is of the essence. From what the arcane researchers have been able to determine, we have less than 5 days to stop the Cult of the Dreamer from completing their goals. He looks around to each of them one more time and he says, and what say each of you? The Druids are the first to answer the call. They stand up and pledge to assist the Conclave in dealing with this cult threat. The attack on the Feyweave Hollow and the subsequent attempted attack by the cult right after your group left clearly shows that this cult has no respect for nature. And so the Druids absolutely agree. Hey, Ashley. We got Ashley in chat right now. She's saying hello. I hope the game is going well. We are currently getting an info dump about what's been going on from the cult and what the world is going to do to in response. So, Bachelor Grigg, of course, is the first one who stands up. And
I stand up immediately after the Archdruids do.
As you do that, you hear Grigg saying, The Druid Groves agree to honor the Erudite Accords. But the situation in Coltras must be addressed as well. My research there has led me to believe that the beholder known as Veritude was using the root to connect its consciousness with the dream realm. No doubt to commune with this entity known as the Dreamer. The cult attacked the town not 3 days ago, cutting off passage from the keep to the underground grove. We must determine what else the cult did down there, whether or not the druids are left, and if they are still alive, and for what purpose the cult destroyed those tunnels. The secret of the cult of the Dreamer could very well be the key to unraveling this cult's ritual. As he sits down, Master Ohm informs the council itself that they are planning to send a team to investigate this underground grove. Volunteers are called for from the senior field researchers, and your group's kind of surprised when Tomas, who's standing next to Master Ohm, volunteers to do this job.
Yes, Tomas! I love you, man!
Thanks, Eloise. He's just like... he then calls on the Debauchery Circus to aid in that threat, which that group, of course, immediately agrees to, since they're from there. After that, Master Ohm turns to the rest of the representatives, each of whom stand up and state that their nations are ready to commit troops to join with the force that has already gathered in Weston to march down towards the Umber Spire and face off against the cult army. You see Captain Stoneleaf stand up and give a report that the Empire had sent an army to assist in the rebuilding of Weston. They've got quite a few walls going up right now and is very well fortified. And the rest of the army is preparing to make the march across the river into the Margarden Federation. The kingdoms of Hyrulean and Radagast also agree to commit troops. And the Druid Groves begin discussions of how they are going to assist using transport via plants to move troops across the continent and towards this same location. Once the talk kind of dies down a little bit, most of the conversations at this point are groups of people talking about how they can how they can send more troops and supplies and things like that. You see Master Ohm excusing himself, and he goes to track down the five of you. He approaches and he tells you all, well, Eloise, thanks for your input during the meeting. We certainly appreciate it. Things are getting a bit complicated right now, as you can tell. But it's time to deal with this cult directly. Which brings me to your group. I hope that the Conclave can rely on your support in this coming endeavor.
Absolutely, Master Ohm. You just point us in the direction where you need some serious damage done.
I took down one champion of this cult, and I'll do it again.
That's good to know. I have something in mind that I think your group would be perfect for. I'm going to keep this a little close to the vest for now. But I'd like for you all to meet up with me first thing in the morning. I'll be here in the Conclave doing mostly organizational work at this point. But if you can meet me at 9 o'clock tomorrow, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, we'll be here. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Very good. Well, things are going to be going on for quite a while, but prepare yourselves. If you need anything, feel free to ask. And if you do decide to head out into town, speak with the reception up on the main level. I set something aside for you.
About town, the last time we were here, we were essentially fugitives. I just wanna make sure if we go into town, we're gonna be okay.
You do make a good point there. Maybe you should not go into town. Or just disguise yourselves, whatever.
I could get around this fine. I mean, some of our group might be a little bit more noticeable, and what's a more delicate word of putting it?
Don't worry, I'm great with disguises.
Wasn't I a horse last time we were here?
He said it himself.
Completely different from before. I'll just walk around in tiger form while we're around town. It won't be an issue.
Because that's just normal.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not going to draw attention at all.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see a fake cat anyway. Besides, we'll figure that one out. I know Mr. Veil's wanting to go do some shopping. He's been chomping at the bit for a while now, so...
Well, if
We'll
you...
figure
You've
it
been
out.
salty ever since you got that shave job done.
I could get him around. He and I would be fine. There's some louder members of the group that may not be so stealthy about the way they go about things. Shouting, "Hey, let's go meet here for free gold." Stuff like that. That you remember that happened in this town, if y'all remember.
Blood, I'm afraid you're being a bit too subtle.
You! I'm talking about you! And he's looking at Apollyon, fucking Eloise, and Liam. He's like, y'all! Ah!
I want a courtyard. I don't want to go shopping. I want a courtyard with lots of space.
Now that the Conclave definitely has. The Conclave has very large grounds around it that are very, very pretty from a topiary standpoint. So you could absolutely go and find just a quiet, secluded corner to be one with nature, if that's what you're wanting to do, Eloise.
Yep. You guys have fun shopping. If you find me a dragon statuette before the Conclave can you grab it for me?
Speaking
I'll give you the money for it.
Speaking of, you did ask for something like for a dragon statue, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, go speak to. Make sure you speak with reception before you leave.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow. And at which point you hear someone from the background calling, "Master Ohm, we need to speak with you over here." And 1 minute. If there's anything you're looking for as far as components and things like that, leave a list with a liaison. I'm authorizing some assistance provided to your group.
Well, that's a certain step up. That's what we've been looking for. Nice treatment. You're going to get a good response out of us for actions like that. I tell you what.
You're gonna leave a good Yelp review? Is that what you're saying?
Yelp. It's a goblin that lives in Morag and reviews things.
He just yelps whatever the latest person tells him to yelp at.
Yeah, he just yells really loud from the top of his tower, and it just echoes through the whole cavern that is the city. But, yeah. So, Eloise, then the rest of you make your way up to the first level. And you can stop by reception. You can ask for a tree if you want to, and there is a courtyard there for you. The receptionist is a halfling man that's sitting there reading a book like they all do. They all seem to here at the Conclave. And he's, the debauchery, or the Faab Five, yes.
Oh, there.
Oh, shut up. You run 2 campaigns a day for 3 years and see how often you do it.
You know I was going to
motherfucker.
say, if anybody in the group was going to say something, you knew it was going to be me.
Uh-huh. So anyway, the Faab Five. Yes, we have something here for you. And they bring out a small chest, just a small iron-bound chest that fits in their hands. Sit on the table and opens it up. Inside, you do find a dragon figurine.
Yay!
And 500 platinum pieces.
Oh shit!
Sweet.
Alright, you guys are going shopping, so you guys can have that.
I'll take care
Nice.
of you guys. Don't worry about it.
And I'll even give you 500 more blood to make sure that everyone's got some healing potions if you find any.
We have like thousands upon thousands of gold from the heist.
Yep.
You don't have to give us anything.
What?
Some-
I don't know.
Some
What
of
am
you
I
have
gonna-
spent it, some of you haven't.
What am I gonna spend? Like, what am I gonna spend
Right.
these tiny bits of metal on? Like,
Fine, he'll
here.
take it.
I need the components.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
someone needs a lot of money.
I will ask the receptionist if it's possible that I can get 2 spell scrolls for the spell message.
Message?
Yeah.
Message is a cantrip.
Sending. Sending.
Got it. You ask for a couple sending scrolls. He tells you, well, you are authorized to some pretty advanced things.
I'm just gonna put the pouch that I keep my money in, and I'll just be like, "Is this enough?"
I'll get it out. How much is she gonna need? Plus, just like you. What do you?
Give me a minute. He puts his hand to his ear. You recognize the message cantrip being cast. A few moments later, he says, wait 20 minutes.
Okie dokie.
And 20 minutes later, you see another field researcher comes running downstairs. They're carrying 3 sending scrolls. They place them on the desk in front of you and tell you, unfortunately, we don't. A lot of things are being claimed right now because a lot of researchers are getting ready to head out. But I was able to secure your group 3 sending scrolls.
Oh, are we paying for them, or is this because we're members? We're getting them. What?
No, we're giving this to you.
Oh.
According to word, your group is on a special assignment for Master Ohm in regards to the Cult of the Dreamer, and you've been authorized to receive special consideration.
Can I have?
Thank-
I'm just gonna look at the rest. I'm gonna turn my back on him and
You
look
can
at the
have
rest
whatever
of
you
the time
want.
for 2 of them, please.
You can have them. I'll just give this one money to send me a spell. And he's just gonna point the veil. If I need it, I'll just pay him.
Okay, I'm good. I'm gonna be in the courtyard if you need me, and I'm just gonna go off. Have fun shopping.
But will just look at Liam. He's like, I'm assuming you're gonna watch over that one. Or are you going with us?
Yeah, I'll just put an order in for a few new outfits. Turns out buying only one at a time has not been working out for me. So.
I mean, do you want to tell? Because he's gonna look at Apollyon. He's probably gonna be the one who would be able to get you to the 9s.
I just
Yes,
remembered something. Sorry, Blood. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
You're right.
you are still wearing his freaking costume, aren't you?
Yep. Yeah, that's
He's wearing my fancy getup that I
Yeah,
never actually
yeah.
got to wear.
And so yeah, he's gonna leave an order for like 5 silk sleeveless shirts, dragons on the back, all like 5 different colors. Just some variety,
Oh my god!
and like 2 sets of black pants or something like that. So Liam's good on clothes after his order comes back.
All right, that'll be 5 silver.
Yeah,
based off the quality you're talking.
yeah, but I'm gonna give you tip money anyway.
He'll get you. He'll try and find something for you.
Yeah, I'll just I'll go to the courtyard and meditate while she's doing her thing.
Okay.
You're like, big dog, you going with us? Talking to Apollyon.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Now,
I'll do some
remember,
shopping.
We were fugitives. You were flying. So let's not scream our names.
He makes like the motion of like zipping his lips closed and throwing away the key.
Gotcha, but you know what? Give me that key. It's like I want to put it in my pocket.
Vale's pointing out that zippers don't have locks, so what is he doing with the key?
He doesn't know.
It's just a figure. It's a metaphor, buddy. He says he's gonna be quiet.
Okay.
Blood wants to get some stuff, but he's pretty much going to watch Vale's back. So
Okay. So you're all making your way out into the. Are you doing anything to like look differently, or?
I mean, Blood. He's got his glamour armor, so he will definitely change his outfit up. You know what? He'll actually go with the blue of the conclave. And then
Tan
he'll
and green.
Tan
and green. You're thinking of the cobalt soul.
Cobalt reserve. Yeah,
not the same thing.
Well, he'll go with those colors then, yeah, and then he'll just use disguise self to make himself just look as ordinary of a human that can't turn into a cat as he can.
Okay.
I asked Apollyon if he's got his makeup bag with him, and maybe he could do a little disguise kit stuff with us.
Oh shit! Between Blood and Apollyon, you'll be the belle of the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to stand out. I'm trying to be a little more discreet than that.
I do have. What do I have? Oh yeah, I have like makeup and stuff.
I got proficiency with the disguise kit. I think you do as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know
I
what?
have glittery oil.
Yeah, that's true. Apollyon does have glittery oil.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you three can think about some disguises for a few minutes while we take our break because it is 8:30. So we will be back in about 10 minutes, folks, and when we return, half of the team is going to go do some shopping in a city that they're wanted fugitives in, while the other two are going to do some meditation and see if they can get a little closer to their...
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. No problems. Nothing whatsoever. Stay tuned, everybody.
Whoever's chewing, please mute your mic.
Sorry.
Throw up.
Oh, wow.
That's a perfect
God
place to come
damn.
back into.
That was hardcore, man. God damn, that was cold. I'm impressed. Blood is impressed.
But as Eloise crunches away, we are back, everybody. I choose the best time to start things up again. But when we last left off, the team was making their way out of the Erudite Conclave, Apollyon, Blood, and Veil, while Eloise and Liam were going to go just find a quiet corner in nature and spend some time meditating. But anyway, let's go ahead and focus on Apollyon, Blood, and Veil. Now, you did say that you're going to take a moment to disguise yourself a little bit. Tell us, Apollyon, what it is. How are you disguising yourself to make your way into Revancia?
I'm gonna put on my El Toro Fuerte costume like I did at the ball. And what was that guy's name? Stedman Reork Stedman?
Reork,
Reork Seidman. Yep.
Seidman, yeah.
Steigman, yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, when I went to his ball, we had the El Toro Fuerte costume that made me look like a suave nobleman. So I have a brightly colored vest on and a little monocle, and I have a rose between my teeth, as if I'm ready to tango at any moment.
Very inconspicuous.
Very inconspicuous, yes.
You got a
And
spot.
all of you are my entourage, clearly.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a performance check, Apollyon?
Okay.
God, Vale's got boots that help him with stealth. We're gonna need it.
17.
17. You know, you make your way out of the conclave, through the iron gates and onto the street itself. The first thing you really notice is not a lot of people out right now. But then you remember, oh yeah, there was just all those attacks that were going on in the city at the same time the conclave was hit, so things are a little bit chaotic right now. But Apollyon, strutting his stuff in his El Toro Fuego costume, Forte, whatever, the El Toro costume.
Yeah, it means the strong bull.
Making your way in that matador-looking costume, you're just strutting your stuff. You got your rose in your teeth, and not a lot of people around. So the ones that do, look at you, smile a little bit, and get back to what they're doing. While at the same time, I imagine Blood and Veil have like cloak hoods up and are just trying to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Just a regular
Yeah.
conclave guy.
Vale's got he's got round ears now. He's got little like clay
Prosthetics.
around the tips of his ears, and he's just got round ears. So that's his disguise.
Like
So-
silly putty, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's gray.
Now, Vale, I know you're looking for some components. You've been to the city before, and you know that there is an alchemy shop that does tend to sell a lot of those more exotic type of things that you might need for spell casting. There is also a jeweler in town and an enchanter as well that you've all dealt with, and there's also a general store. So, where is everyone wanting to head first?
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as we get
We could
everything
totally go
on our
get
list.
his stuff first. What Blood would be looking for is like an armor or like magic, if maybe a magic shop for stuff like that. But people who deal with arms, artificer, something like that. But he's pretty much, his main focus is make sure the wizard gets back alive.
That's fair. So, sounds like heading to the alchemist first. The alchemist is God damn, why do I name these things like this?
You
It's-
love that name generator, man.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm just a little bit of a masochist at this point, giving my everything weird random names and then trying to pronounce
Just go
it.
with Frank.
Yeah, no,
You
it's
know? Frank's goods,
no, it's Myathel's Alchemy.
Yes.
That's the name of it. Myathel's Alchemy. It's in the Arcane Quarter. The street outside is shaded by colorful trees, and the building itself is a plaster and large single-story building with a brown tile roof and a small enclosed deck that's just covered in herbs. It was once a barracks and does have a collection of arms and armor on the walls that are pretty much rusted and useless, but still make nice decor. And the shop contains low ceilings and fine silks hung from the rafters. Myathel is a female half-elf with dark black hair, very pale skin, and a few freckles over her nose. And she greets you all as you open the door, and you have that little bit of that bell jingling. She says, yes, welcome to Mathels. What can I get for you?
Healing potions, please.
Oh, we do have some potions of lesser healing, which are currently on sale. There are only 48 gold pieces. We have 6 of them.
It's a 2 gold difference.
Yeah, hey, that's 12 gold we're saving.
How much is that? Do you have higher healing potions as well?
You mean like
Some heal a little bit more than just the basic.
Oh yes, I do have a few of those. Let me see what I have in stock. And she kind of starts looking through her shelves a little bit.
Because I will say, Blood's sitting on 8 lesser and 2 moderate, so he's got a few.
She
I
does.
don't have any.
I need some.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely
I'll
need
take
some
whatever
too.
she's got. We will take, whatever she's got.
Well, other than the 6 lesser healing potions, she also has 4 moderate and 4 greater potions as well. The moderates cost 400 gold, and the graders cost 1,000.
That's
How much do we have in that platinum?
Well, he gave us 500 pieces, so that would be what?
5,000 gold.
5,000 gold, so that would cover, because that's 4,000 plus, well, it's 5,600 for all of those 8, right? Not counting the discounted 48 gold ones.
Yeah, it'd be 50. It'd be 5,600 gold, and then whatever the math is on the 6 lessers.
Do you have any? Also, just we'll keep those out of the table. We'll think about those, but potions of speed. My big friend and I had used some recently, and they were rather effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good.
You're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about for the haste spell.
Mhm.
Let's see what she has. Okay. Ouch. Yes, I do know exactly what you're talking about. She reaches under her cabinet and pulls out a single kind of a bluish potion that you recognize to be a potion of speed. Unfortunately, I had a few men in gray or in brown robes trimmed in green, kind of a lot like yours, that came through and bought up most of my supply. But I always keep one set aside just in case someone comes in shortly after. I'm planning on making some more, but it'll take about a week to finish up. But I do have this, and I can let that go for 500 gold pieces.
So, what if we were to bundle all of these together? Would you be able to give us a discount on that, since we are buying quite a large stock? So the six minor, 4 moderate, 4 greater, and the speed.
I suppose I could give you a small discount based on number of potions that you purchase. Is there anything else that you're looking for?
Yes. Do you have any Quicksilver?
Quicksilver? I do, actually. I use that in some of my potions. How much are you needing?
All of it, please.
Very subtle.
How much do you actually physically need?
Let me.
I think it's a gold amount, right? Probably.
Yeah, it's a gold
Yeah,
amount.
it is. It's 500.
Okay, so you need 500 gold worth of Quicksilver. And I know I've sold you some.
I have some. Yeah, I have right now. I think 150. Hold on, we'll check on my sheet.
Is this for a
100? I have 100. Yeah, I have 150 gold pieces right now. I'm sorry, 150 gold pieces worth of Quicksilver right now. So I would need 350.
Is this like a single use for the spell, or is this?
Let me double check.
As I say, if you wanted to buy an extra usage, we could.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I wanted all of it. Both of which the spell consumes. So yes,
So an
I would
extra one,
need.
850 to get 2 uses full.
Yeah, it would be 850 total. Yeah.
Okay. She wouldn't have quite that much, but like just realistically speaking, that's a shit ton of
Yeah.
of
Do you know-
mercury.
Do you know of any place in town that is that makes hats?
Actually,
No.
I do know of a haberdashery just down the street. I was I was going
I
to
forgot about
suggest.
that word.
Yeah, I was going to suggest if you're looking for a large amount, that I could contact my friend and they could bring over what you require.
Okay.
So if you're wanting 850 gold worth of quicksilver, like this is a fucking big amount of quicksilver. Even though
Yeah,
like amount wise, like it's that for like 100 gold or something like that. So it's probably a bucket's worth. But that's a shit ton of quicksilver.
We've got that 500 platinum, which is 500 gold, 5,000 gold, and then
Yep.
I've got the 3,000 gold from the bet. So we've got at least 8. That's just your free money.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't want to, this is up your discretion, but if you want to just make this a one-time stop, I'll get 3 spells worth out of it, and that way I don't have to get Quicksilver again in this game. So that would be 1350.
Do you have the ability to carry that much Quicksilver, though?
Ma'am, I've got a portable hole.
I think she should amend that. Do you have the capability to carry around that much quicksilver safely?
Well,
I'm imagining like a bandolier of vials that go all the way around him that just filled up with quicksilver.
Yeah, this
so,
is
okay, so wait, listen. Can I just say that in the spell's description, it does say a vial of Quicksilver worth 500 gold, so I can't imagine it being, it's a vial of silver. It's worth
Okay.
Quicksilver. So it's not like literally have a. It's not like I literally have
like a barrel.
Buckets worth of this stuff. That would be like
okay.
With a
yeah,
spigot.
Vial.
With a spigot on it.
I
I'm just
guess
assuming this
I
stuff's
guess that's
expensive.
fair. Yeah, I guess it's more expensive than I'm thinking in my head what it would be.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe it is just 3 small vials that they're producing. Maybe it's more like a potion vial, because a potion
Yeah, that's
itself
what I
is
would think.
basically like just a one-shot thing.
Mhm.
So sure, why not? 3 vials of quicksilver for in total 850 plus another 5, so 1350 gold worth.
1350.
Yes, it takes her a little bit of time to gather up this, but yes, she can give you 3 vials of 500 gold quicksilver.
Okay.
Sweet.
Now I just need 3 life-size dolls.
We'll worry about that later.
She looks really confused and a little bit unsure when you say that.
Vale gives her a wink.
Oh. Don't do that, buddy.
Well, there is a shop called Trixie's Secret down at the Red Light District.
Oh my god! We're gonna
I
get
pull out my
sex
map.
dolls.
Yes.
And I have her pointed out on the map and mark it on my map where it is.
Shit. We're buying sex
It's
dolls.
actually the Hatter that is able to give you step-by-step directions to the sex shop.
Almost like he knows it by heart.
Yes, almost as though he
Yeah.
goes there a lot.
I love it. I love it.
God.
We all have issues. It's okay. Yeah. So besides the quicksilver and the healing potions and 1 potion of speed that she does have, is there anything else you're looking for?
Do you have
Actually-
gems? Or would that be a jeweler?
I have some gem dust, but I don't have any whole gems right now. But yeah, a jeweler definitely would.
Now, I'm about to
Right.
say, I'm going to ask for something, and it has nothing to do with his dolls. I know they're going to be weird asked together, but do you have any very potent poisons?
That she actually does carry. Let's pull out a random potion.
Purple worm. Purple worm.
Oh, you want specifically purple worm poison?
Well, I mean, just something's going to be powerful poisons. Whatever she's got.
El
Sex
Toro
dolls.
Fuerte is trying to get into reading some books more lately. Would you have any manuals in stock?
Sex dolls and poison.
I'm an alchemist. I have manuals on alchemy and that sort of thing, if that's what you're looking for.
What about like a manual of quickness of action?
You're talking about the legendary book of that only one of exists?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very rare. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
legendary in
That's
your
a
world?
legendary item.
You know, out of character, we had to break into.
Cool.
a
Do you have it?
vault.
Oh yes, I have that right here
Well,
on,
you never
on the
know.
shelf.
This random magic shop might have it.
You know
Yeah,
what? Roll a
Very
D100.
true.
Roll a
Oh,
D100.
I swear to God,
Yeah.
Apollyon, if you fucking get this.
Can I give it
I
advantage?
mean, I have the lucky
No.
feat, so like,
This is the kind of book you would give to the rogue, but I swear if you get this, I have
88.
Yeah.
No, and so, I'm sorry, I don't have that book. I've never even heard of it before. You might try the Erudite Conclave.
Me neither.
The Erudite Conclave might know something about that.
Oh
think
yeah,
we
they
had-
got tons of books.
We did ask him about that when we found out about the Tome of Clear Thought, and I think they said they didn't know where this one was.
They gave you a list of.
Yeah,
of
I
what-
know they. Yeah, I think they said this would have been like they hadn't located one like this one or something like that. So
Does it give you +2 to Dex?
yes,
Yep. Then I would have a 20 in all three of my physical scores.
Wow.
Okay. I'm also going to use Apollion's 88 to tell you about the crazy potion or poison that this lady has in stock.
sweet.
Nice.
So this is I do have a potion here, and I really shouldn't be selling this sort of thing. So if you buy
Mum's
it,
word, man. Mum's word.
Mum's the word.
this is called the Last Light. It's
Sounds delicious.
well, it's kind of complicated. It's a mixture of bile of humans and that who's been bit by a werewolf, but I have to collect it before their first transformation, and it's very, very difficult. It then has to be aged in a charred oaken barrel for more than 6 months, at which point it becomes quite lethal. Now, you must be very, very careful with this, because 1 week after ingestion, a single dose, the victim will fall unconscious and exhibit symptoms that are very closely resembling death. The symptoms last for 2 weeks, but when they wake up, it's much worse, and they can no longer step out in the sun.
I mean, that sounds very. I mean, I know a few people that would want to use such a thing on.
Well, that needs to be ingested.
Yes.
I was looking more at something I could, coat some arrows, maybe a sword with, that would do instant damage. A week is a little more out of our time frame, unfortunately, at the moment.
The long con.
Yeah.
Well, I do
mean-
have some cockatrice venom.
Ooh.
Blood likes the sound of that.
I was gonna be inappropriate, like cock venom. You say?
A cockatrice venom. It can knock a target. You can coat it onto arrows, like you said, and it can knock somebody unconscious or possibly even petrify them.
Oh, you're right. That does sound interesting. How much of that do you have?
I only have the one vial of it, and it's very expensive because it's very difficult to come by.
You know, but that could be some. As I look at you, goes, that could be something for a bardic friend that's has something coming to him. How much would that be?
If you're buying it along with everything else, I'll give you a bit of a discount and sell it to you for 1,200 gold pieces.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I got definitely with that. I was expecting more.
You just see this woman hear a cha-ching sound in her head. Well, if you're looking for more...
I ain't gonna milk a cockatrice.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Do you have any belts of giant strength?
Maybe in a magic shop.
Yeah, at the magic shop maybe, but
we're gonna be heading to one. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. This is just strictly
this
alchemist.
is
potions
out.
Yeah,
we're at the
potions, ingredients. So with all the potions, the speed, his quicksilver.
How many potions of speed did she have?
Just the one.
I think I still have one.
I'll Rochambeau you for it later.
Okay.
No, I won't, because I know your strength is much more than mine. We'll figure that out later.
Well, Veil, can you cast the haste spell? Do you need the potion?
I can learn it, and then I can cast it. And now that I'm not a selfish prick, I can do it and be willing to buff up my party members.
So we can even put it in the ring of spell storing.
I'm sure you could learn that at the conclave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I'm pretty sure I have a potion too. I have to look through my potions.
Oh. But yeah, with the potion of speed, poison, quicksilver,
potion of haste,
and all of the potions, what are we looking at here?
You're asking me?
Well, I mean, I had gotten up to with just the before the poison. I added up all the others, so it was 77.38 before she said she might give us a discount. And then I guess we had the 1,200 on top of it.
Okay, and yeah, she was gonna she was gonna take 500 gold off that for the potion of speed.
84.38.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
How
much do you have?
Oh well, I mean, I've got more than enough. We got the platinum, the 3,000 that's 8,000 total, and then I'll just pull. You know what? And Eloise gave us 500 gold. So right there.
I can cover if there's any remaining balance. I've got some gold.
Oh yeah, I got plenty after that. So we got 62 gold left after the 500 platinum, the 3,000 gold, and then the bit that Eloise gave us.
Okay, nice.
So we're good. So we got 62 left from that. That should be good enough to get Liam's outfits. With 61 gold left.
Nice.
Hey, I said fine silk. You better not be spending silver for my fine silk shirt.
I was just saying you're gonna totally look like the guy who was my best man at my wedding, so I might have to, think less of him since my marriage went to shit. He used to wear these dragon shirts all the time in high school. So that's what I'm picturing when I'm going to buy these dragon fucking shirts.
Happy to bring up your past, man.
Oh my god, dude, the colors, they were not just white with dragons. They're gonna be a Technicolor dream coat.
Alright, so I changed my 150 Quicksilver on my character sheet to 1,500 gold pieces worth.
Okay.
So we had 4 greater, 4 moderate, 6 lesser, right? Or was it lesser or regular on the 48 gold one?
The 48 gold were the lessers. So
Right.
6 of the lessers.
6. Oh, I'm just putting that there to minus his
Can I take-
Quicksilver. Oh, and my poison, but I'll
Can I take some of those potions, the lowest ones
take whatever
possible?
you
I'm
need.
just
You
gonna,
can- dude,
I'm just
take-
gonna use them
take a
to buff
greater.
you guys.
take a greater if you need it for yourself.
No, it'd be to heal one of you guys.
Oh. I'll get the stats on that cockatrice poison from you later, man.
Okay. Yeah, I can give you that. real
Since
quick.
I can't spell cockatrice, just going on my sheet is cock poison.
All right, greater healing potion. I'll take one of those.
Yep, go right ahead.
Oh
Like I
wait,
said-
I'm still on push to talk. COCKATRIC.
I'll take
Country of origin.
1 greater and 1 moderate.
Start putting,
So there you go.
Alright.
That looks
Yeah,
weird.
put it on your sheets, whatever you're taking, and then just let me know what's left.
I only took one greater potion, greater healing potion, and then obviously my Quicksilver.
I took 1 greater and 1 moderate.
Alright, so greater, 2 graders and 1 moderate gone. Liam, Eloise.
We're not there, so whatever you feel like divvying to us will be fine, I'm sure.
You can say whatever you want. It's okay.
Honestly,
I'll just put them in that
passive
bag
on
of
this?
holding,
Okay.
and we'll just toss some stuff out later.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, we're stocked to the gills on lesser and minor healing potions, so.
Okay. Now, from there, you said you wanted to go over to the enchanter's shop, or the jeweler.
Yep.
The jeweler is the Spectacular Gems, Jewels, and Jade, owned by a Matilda Watson. You're looking specifically for what types of gems?
I'm looking for some onyx gems.
And how much are you looking for?
Let's say 11, 1,000. Hold on, let me just double check this. Probably 1,500 worth.
Okay, what's this for?
Create undead.
For what?
Create undead.
Create undead. Gotcha. Okay, and it just needs to be onyx stones, basically?
Yeah, it says 1 clay pot filled with grave dirt, 1 clay pot filled with brackish water, and 150 gold piece black onyx stone for each corpse. So, I mean, that's the only thing that's a cost component.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, she should be able to provide, that's a lot of fucking onyx. God. Yeah, 1,500 gold worth of onyx stones. Make a persuasion check.
Alright, and I guess during this persuasion check, I'll say, they don't necessarily have to be big. Maybe just make them very intricate, and that's what the cost is coming from. And here's my persuasion. 29. Crit.
Wow. They're going to sell it to you at cost.
Nice. Alright. And while I'm here, does she dabble in the sculpting, or would it be whittling for a carved ivory piece?
A carved ivory piece, you say? I do all my own work here, and as you can see from my rings here, they are quite intricate. She actually does have quite a few interesting rings throughout the shop. You take a moment and describe what it is you're looking for, and she tells you, well, I think I could do one better for you there. I'm a bit of a transmuter, and I could have one of these items crafted for you within an hour or so. It doesn't have to be super detailed, I assume, right?
No, just something in resemblance of myself, and decorated with gems that are worth at least 1,500 gold pieces. A nice little statuette, if you will.
Okay. Well, I could have that done for you in an hour. And
Wow.
For the time and for the magic, I'm willing to do it for 2,100 gold.
2,100 gold, and then 1,500 gold worth of onyx gems. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
3,600.
3,600. Yep. Yeah. And Veil smiles and looks on his list real quick. And what else do you want? I think that was it. So he'll gladly accept. I'll take the money off my character sheet. He'll shake her hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does, and she brings out a piece of ivory that's sitting there on a shelf behind her desk, and says, "I've had this piece on my shelf for a bit of time, and I think I can make something quite nice out of it. So come back in an hour." And the spell.
As she's saying that, Veil's unbuttoning his robes because he wants her to get a view of his figure to carve the statue.
Hey, the sex shop is next. We don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I guess just this will do just fine with the robes on. That's fine. And he kind of hastily buttons back up, and you see a little flush on his face.
Yeah, as you're doing that, you do see her casting a bit of a spell on her own. She seems to be aiming it at herself on her head.
She's modifying her own memory, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. Well, come back in an hour.
All right, and let me hold on. So I just have to take that 3,600 off my list. And 735.
Yeah. Some of the rings that she currently has available for sale is a ring of animal influence, a ring of mind shielding, and a ring of swimming.
Ooh, what's the ring of mind shielding do?
Kind of what it sounds like. It can shield your mind from invasion.
Is it attunement?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be for something like
Yeah.
that.
Animal influence. That's right up Eloise's alley.
Yeah. The ring of mind shielding, basically, you're immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether or not you're lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type. Creatures that can telepathically communicate with you can only do so if you allow it. So that's what that is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Anyway, you guys were all planning on heading over to the Enchanter next. The Enchanter is Laotian's Visions. This is a human man. The location is in the Civic Corner. The streets outside are covered in fallen leaves, even though there are actually no trees on the street itself. The building is plastered and wooden framed in a large single-story building with a small fenced yard and shuttered windows. It has religious paraphernalia on the walls, as well as a map of the constellations on the floor. You all notice as you step inside. The owner smiles and welcomes you all. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Laotian's Visions. What can I get for you?
And I guess this is the magic item type, like Mitchell's kind of shop potentially.
Yeah, this is an enchanter's shop. Yes.
Big guy, you were looking for a belt, right?
Not nearly as big as Mitchell's. Like Mitchell was a factory worker almost. Like it was a big place with tons of stuff. This is a dude's house that he also sells some magical shit out of, basically.
Mitchell did have some good advertising, so.
That's true. That's true.
I was wondering if I could get an item I already have upgraded.
Well, I do work in modified enchantments. They do tend to take some time because I have to work out the spell enchantment that's currently on it and make the work modifying it. What kind of belt do you have, and what are you trying to add to that?
Oh, a belt? No, I'm good with my belt.
Oh, sorry.
How about you take a look at this? And Apollyon's gonna put his shield on the counter.
This is just a
yeah. It gives me a. It's a +2.
+2.
I'm hoping to make a +3. I'm hoping can reinforce it a little bit, give me some added protection, you know. We've been through a lot of battles together. Don't mess him up.
He walks over to your and takes your shield, and you recognize him casting the spell Identify on it. Oh yes, this is a very good quality shield. I could indeed increase the enchantment. It would take about 14 days to accomplish.
Well,
Well, that's a little long. You know, I am the Golden Boi, if you didn't know.
Golden.
And can I try to charm him?
You're casting the charm spell on him?
Well, I have a Draconic Presence. On a bonus action on my turn, I can choose a creature within 60 feet of me that is aware of you, must succeed a Wisdom saving throw, and become charmed if I'm not raging, or frightened if I am raging.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you can go ahead and attempt to charm this enchanter.
So it's a DC 18 Wisdom save.
I'm just going to pull an enchanter out of the monster manual. Well, I rolled a 15. So, you cast
Yes, don't you see my majesty? I need an item that befits it.
And you unleash this draconic presence that just kind of reverberates out from you into this individual, and he smiles up at you and he says, "Golden Boi, oh, absolutely, you I'm so happy to see you. It's been such a long time. You look amazing." He just seems very, very happy to see you now. And considers you his best buddy.
Oh, yeah. You know, we're, I'm going off to fight some very special battles in the near future, and I'd really like my shield. Any way you could bump me up in the queue, boss?
He smiles again and he says, I honestly wish I could. It's not a matter... I wasn't trying to lie to you or anything like that. That's kind of enchantment takes time. Like a +3 enchantment normally takes upwards of 6 months or more to go from nothing to a +3 enchantment. Just he was saying, hey, this is how long it'll take me to do this. He wasn't trying to lie.
All right, I'll have a little aside with Blood and Veil. How soon do we need to be heading out?
We got 5 days.
Immediately, right?
5 days, you said?
5 days before
Yeah,
the end, but
we're
like
pretty
we're meeting Ohm at 9 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty sure the ritual happens in 5 days, but
Not enough time. Perhaps when I return, I shall inquire of your services again.
well, maybe they got something else you might need, bud.
Now, if I know you I wish I could help you more with this, with that. I do have a very interesting shield that perhaps you might find a little more to your liking.
I'll look upon it.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Gaze upon the shield.
He brings out this shield, and he tells you, this shield right here is it's called a Spellguard shield, Apollyon. It's really powerful. It helps you to reflect back magic that's cast at you.
Damn, buddy. That is pretty
Oh,
good.
wow.
So
Pretty cool.
from a meta standpoint, while holding this shield, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, and spell attacks have disadvantage against you.
Let me guess it's attunable.
It does require attunement. It is a +1, not a +2, like your current shield. But
Nope. Pass.
Okay.
Matt, just reading his ability, it looks like he gets to make saves after a certain amount of time. Like
Yeah.
a minute or until...
It says until you can no longer see him.
Let's see.
Creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of his
Oh, yeah, I
turns,
can repeat
and
it.
in the effect, yeah.
Oh, hell.
Once he saves, he's immune for 24 hours.
That's true.
I think at this point, he wants to fail, right?
Do you have this? And I send him.
Arcane Grimoire.
Arcane Grimoire. It's like a spell book, focused. It's from Tasha's.
Yeah.
That's another thing more likely to find in the Conclave, honestly.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
This
item.
This is a magic shop. This could be.
I've never even heard of this thing.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
never
there's
heard
three
of it
different
either.
rarities to it.
Yeah, it's like
There's
the
three different
Bloodwell
rarities
Vial
to it.
for the Sorcerer or the Amulet of the Devout for Paladin Cleric. It's like a +1, +2, or +3 like item for that class.
Okay. I do have a few arcane grimoires. The shitty thing about that is, yeah, when you're holding the leather-bound book, you can use it as spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. You gain a bonus to your spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs. But you'd have to then, if you want to use it as your spell book, you have to rewrite all your spells into it. Now, you don't have to do that. Like, it just works as a spellcasting focus, I guess. So, like, you wouldn't have to.
The only thing that would suck for me is I'd have to. I'm assuming it requires. Oh, no, it doesn't require an attunement.
Yes, it does. It does require attunement by a
Oh,
wizard.
it does?
By
Yes.
a wizard specifically.
Yep.
Okay. So I would have to just get rid of one of my Yeah, I guess depending on what the yeah, it might be worth it depending on what the rarity is. Even without rarity.
So he does have a the +2 and the +1. The plus one cost $4,000. The +2 cost 12.
Ooh, and Veil turns on his heels to Blood with a big smile on his face. He says, "Hey, bud, you got $2,265 I could borrow. I mean, gold I could borrow. I've got 97. I've got 97.35.
You know what? I do, and we can make that happen. Let's see if I can get something. We can package something together here.
Yeah, do the old deal, the old bundle deal.
I guess Blood would kind of like he'd pull up his sleeve a little bit, and he's kind of
Still making sense.
almost as if you remember those old slap bracelets, but he's got his one blazing bowstring is just kind of wrapped around that when he's not using it, and he'd pull it out. And he says, "Now, there's a gentleman that was in Port Valena that made this for me. His name was Mitchell. I don't know if you can duplicate this. I took it to a place in Morag. They had never seen anything like it before, so they were not helpful in repeating the enchantments on it. But I was curious if you might have something similar to this." And he just put it on the counter and let the guy take a look at it.
The bowstrings, as we've established, are Mitchell exclusive inventions, so nobody else sells them.
All right.
It's a proprietary string.
Could someone make it? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. He just hasn't been back to Morag because she took the acid one he had. I think it was acid. It's either acid or coal, and she was going to study it. But he hasn't been back to Morag. And then he gave $4,000 to someone who's in fucking Rowena that's probably dead. So, I guess he wanted, I think I was going to get 2. So they're probably dead. But we're not going back there anytime soon. How about special ammunition for a longbow? Something that, magical arrows +1, something spicy.
Now those they do have.
What do you got in stock, sir?
Let's see here. They have +2 arrows here, and they also have some arrows of slaying.
Ooh. Tell me
Slay
more about
Queen.
those.
So an arrow of slaying.
I've got one of aberrations. What did they have? Because that was the one weird arrow we got in the heist. Was a arrow slaying of aberrations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they do have? They have ones for slaying trolls, which really doesn't help your group very much. Ones that are made for slaying undead, which kind of seems slightly interesting, but no doubt Veil scowls at that. They also have arrows of dragon slaying.
How many of those do they have?
They have 6 in total.
How many +2 arrows?
They have a total of 15.
So for the 6 dragon arrows and the 15 +2s, what are we looking at?
So the arrows of just the +2 arrows are 100 gold each. So 1,500.
Okay, so that's 1,500. Right?
Yep. The arrows of slaying, for the regular ones, the ones of troll and the ones of undead, are 600 gold each.
Okay.
For dragon, 800 gold each.
So that would be 4,800. Don't really. The troll ones are just.
Do you have
boring.
anything that specifically hurts Aarakocra?
All of them would hurt them. I mean, I got plenty of regular arrows that'll kill.
Nice.
Aarakocra.
Yeah. I don't. I didn't have anything specifically written down for Kokoro. No.
You think about it, birds are just weaker dragons.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
Flying around their little flammable wings. We'll see how tough this guy is.
Is that specific undead or is it just undead in general?
Just undead in general.
They haven't really used a whole lot of undead shit against us, have they, though?
No, but I hope they do.
Well, shit, I might have to use this on Liam one day when you turn him after he dies.
You kill him twice?
Well, you would kill him. Well, I guess you would bring him back, and then Blood would have to kill him. Because that's what Liam would want.
Yeah, he definitely would want me to bring him back. He stated that many times before. He said, if I ever die, make sure you bring me back.
That's out of character, too, by the way, man. We're not having that combo in front of this guy.
No.
So
no, this is definitely canon.
If I were to get the 6 dragon, the 15 plus 2, and then we're going to get his special little plus 2 book, is there some kind of deal you could sweeten that for us? I will say, putting flyers detailing the name of your shop has not gone well for us.
Oh.
How much money do you need? How much gold do you need? Because I've
got plenty for. I'm just seeing what kind of deal we can get based off the rest of the stuff.
As you're asking whether or not he can give you a discount, that presence of Apollyon's wears off with the nat 20 that he rolled. So,
boy,
his demeanor very much changes, and you can see his face darken, and he is extremely pissed off right now. You come into my shop, and you try to charm me. I'm running
he doesn't know that he was charmed by me.
Oh, he doesn't? Well, he knows
Read the
something.
very last line of my ability. What?
Oh.
You cast a spell?
No. Okay. When the effect of the draconic presence ends, the addled creature does not know that they're charmed by you. Interesting. Okay. So yeah. I'm going to change that then. Instead, his. Oh, go ahead.
As I said,
I was going to say yeah. Oh,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say if I would have charmed him, he definitely would have known. But I've learned my lesson since then.
I mean, Blow would have responded and goes, I haven't fucking done anything. What are you talking about? It's like, he would have tried to figure out a way to get around it.
We're changing this whole thing because it does specifically say they don't know they were charmed by you. So the demeanor does change, and he's kind of like, ugh. What all are you planning on buying?
Plus 2 arrows, the 6 dragon arrows, and his book.
I mean, you're not buying a whole lot of things from him.
Well, that's a lot of gold.
But he deals in a lot of gold if he's making stuff like this. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, though.
Can I help him? Well, what's your persuasion?
Plus 7.
I'm plus 9.
You
but
give
you
him,
said it, so
yeah. Give him the puppy dog, the drow puppy dog eyes.
The kitty cat.
That is
nice.
27.
Back-to-back 20s.
Could have came at a better time. See, if I were still in tabaxi form, I'd totally be doing the Puss in Boots eyes, but I'm not, unfortunately.
He's willing to drop $2,000 off the total since you're buying so many things. So instead of 1,200 or 12,000 for the book, it's going to be 10.
10. Yeah. So his 10 plus you said the 15 arrows was 100 apiece.
Yep, 100 apiece.
And then there were 800 for 6 and 4,800 for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's 16.3. How much did you say you had?
9,000. Hold on.
Just cut it off at 9. I'll do the rest.
Okay, I'll take 9 off, and then I need to. Does he want to purchase any of my wares? Because I need dolls.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
I have a scroll of bless. Hold on. First, let me take this. Let me take this $9,000 off real quick. 9,000 gold.
Honestly, I think you should just look over at Apollyon, who still hasn't spent that much, and ask him to buy some dolls with you.
Hey, let's
Big guy,
face
you want to
it.
buy some,
Yeah, how
you
much
wanna
do
go
these
in on some
dolls even cost?
Let's face it.
Yeah, I
It
don't
wouldn't be
know.
the weirdest thing Apollyon's ever bought.
Oh yeah, we can use them for target practice. Been getting good with my dragon breath.
I mean, I still have quite a bit of gold left if we need.
Well, okay,
If he-
so we're going to put a pause on going to the sex shop because I do want to get back to Eloise and Liam before we end things, and it is almost 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
So while the three of you have been shopping and dickering, and by the way, a scroll of bless he'll buy for 60 gold. But the two of you, Eloise and Liam, you go up to the grounds of the conclave, and you can find a small shady glen that has a few trees and some shrubs and stuff that you're not going to be really seen by the general passers-by. And
I'm going to look for a big open space, big enough for Desi in tree form.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily find that sort of thing, just an open area away from everything that you can pop up. Excuse me. You can pop up Desi.
Cool. So then I take Desi and I plant my staff a little bit in the ground. And then I kind of look around and look at Liam and I'm like, back up! And I quickly back up.
So Liam's with his new movement speed literally just runs straight up the wall. I don't know how tall the wall is, but he can get a good 140 feet up the wall without much issue. And he'll get up there and he'll open up his unfoldable bridge and just have a nice little perch to watch what she's doing from.
What wall? Like the conclave wall?
Yeah, the conclave wall.
Oh yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Yeah, his new movement speed, he can just run straight up walls, so that's what he's doing when she tells him to back up. So he's getting like a Hawkeye perch, like built with his unfoldable bridge and watching Eloise from a distance.
I like it. So yeah, as you're sitting up there on that wall, sitting on that bridge there, you just see that tree goes from a tiny staff to a 50-foot tall deciduous tree, because I think that's what you said it is.
Desi.
Yeah. What do you do then, Eloise?
I'm gonna sit at Desi's roots, kind of find myself a nice little spot, and I'm gonna use one of the sending scrolls, and I'm going to send to Mitchell and just be like, I don't know if this is gonna get to you. I just want to check in. It's Eloise, by the way, and I want to make sure. I just want to make sure you're alive because I've heard some terrible things, and I want to make sure you're not hurt.
I'm pretty sure it stopped at sure.
Yeah.
Eloise, I'm dead.
Oh.
I gotta check something real quick. What? Okay, shit. Do you know offhand what type of magic sending is?
Hang on, I can find out. Evocation.
Okay. You cast the spell, and you start going off into this rant, and 25 words later, the spell ends. You hear a very confused voice. Mistress, I have a voice in my head again. It said something about Eloise coming to something or other. It was very confusing. And cut off.
He's alive! Ugh, thank gosh. And I just lean back on Desi. And I'm like, oh, right. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put both my hands and I'm going to cast Speak with Plants just so I can really connect on an even deeper level with Desi.
I dig it. You cast Speak with Plants, and you hear that familiar voice speaking to you through... It's not language, it's the rustle of the leaves, that energy that kind of transcends all life and all thought and all speech, but through the spell, it kind of comes off as a, well, hey, Eloise, how are you doing?
I mean, things have been real crazy. I mean, you know, you've been there. You've been with me the whole time. World is the scary and sad place.
Yeah, man, it's been really weird. Spent some time in a dry place and you traveled through me. Traveled a lot of weird places.
Yeah. Was that okay? That didn't hurt you, right?
No, man, it was cool. I don't feel anything like that. It's just a little bit of tickle of power.
Okay. Well, that's good. Won't want to hurt you. That'd be bad. Also, I feel really bad for all the other trees that we've traveled through. Because if that hurts, like, that would suck. I'd have to go back and apologize.
Yeah, we trees, we don't mind so much when those of you who are close to the natural order pass through us. Y'all are our friends. At least, most of you are.
Try to be. Oh! Okay, so you were there, right? We met with the Archdruid of the Feywalker's Glen, and he was telling me that his friend from Feyleaf Hollow made you. Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah. You mean old Amberleaf?
Yeah.
He was a good guy.
Yeah?
Infused some of his power into me, raised me up from sapling. We spent lots of time together.
Man, he sounds like a really cool guy.
I was sad when he passed, but you seem like a pretty decent sort.
Try.
Old Amberleaf took me out. Took me from that place that he lived in. That's where he grew me.
The Hollow, really?
I sure hope that one day I might be able to go back there.
Absolutely. I'll bring you back. And then, do you want to be a tree inside the mountain? You might not get a lot of sun. Or I can place you out on the mountain.
Well, the druids there, they kept their own sun. It was nice and shade and warm and lots of bright light when I was there. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
I mean, there are druids there working on trying to build the hollow back up, but I don't know if that's gonna happen soon.
Wouldn't be nice to go back and put my roots down there once again, but I feel like you kind of need me more than they do.
I'll tell you what. If ever there comes a time where I am not going to adventure with these guys anymore and just going to settle down and live a peaceful life, then I'll bring you back to Bayleaf Hollow, and that way you can go back home. I'll bring you back home.
That sounds pretty good. It sounds alright.
Are you okay with the adventuring?
Well, wouldn't mind, making sure that the world is still around so I can put my roots back in it again. And
That's true.
seems like you're trying to make sure it stays that way.
Trying.
I don't know if it might help you at all, but I feel like you could use more of my assistance.
More? You helped so much already.
Well,
You
Amber,
can do more? Like, you're so super cool already.
I can do a lot of things. It just depends mainly on what the person holding you needs. Right now, with everything you're dealing with, I feel like you might need a little bit more.
You get cooler.
As you're touching the tree, you feel this warm sort of sense come over you. You start seeing the staff's life through its senses, coming up as a sapling, being loved and cared for by Hakodin Amberleaf. His eventual calling it from the stage where it was actually a moderately sized tree to remove its roots from the ground and walk about with him. You see a lot over the course of several hundred years. Archdruids tend to live a very long time. And as you do, you start to understand Desi's true nature just a little bit more. You no longer are carrying the Staff of the Woods. It's now the Staff of the Archdruid. And, yeah, let me go ahead and pop this up for you.
Ba-da-da-da. Archdruid Eloise.
I think she's got a ways to go before she can be an archdruid.
Does anybody have a name for the sex shop?
I'm real curious.
Yeah, it was Trixie's Secrets.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Okay, there you go. There is the Staff of the Archdruid. It should have popped up for you. It is now a +3 quarterstaff. While wielding it and attuned to it, you get a bunch more spells that you can cast. It has 20 charges instead of 10. And it also has a few cool little abilities. While you're in direct sunlight, you are resistant to fire damage and you cannot be blinded. While in direct moonlight, you gain resistance to cold damage and cannot be surprised. Now, the cold damage doesn't stack, so it doesn't quite help you as much, but still. You also gain a tremor sense of up to 15 feet. The staff regains a 1d12 plus 2 charges at dawn. If it, don't break it, because it'll fuck you up. It still can cast Pass Without a Trace from the staff, and it still turns into a tree. But yeah, you now carry the legendary weapon, the Staff of the Archdruid.
That's cool.
Nice.
Nice.
Ashley said she is heading off to bed. Good night, Ashley. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I need to head off to bed too.
Yep, and it is 10:13. So I think we're going to go ahead and end things here. We'll pick up.
Alyssa's speechless. That's awesome, dude. You got her.
Yep, legendary items are fun. But that's going to be it for this evening. So, thank you to everyone who watched. We very much appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us. Join us next week as I guess the guys are going to go to a sex shop. We'll see what happens with that, and then eventually get around to getting back to see Master Ohm. So it should be interesting, to say the least. But on behalf of everyone here in the Faab Five and everyone in the Random Rhapsody crew, I just want to say once again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Peace.
Hey.